Tonight, an update from law enforcement on the manhunt underway in Anaconda and how the community is responding.
I'm John Riley here in Anaconda. We're learning more about the search for Michael Brown and additional resources that have been allocated to the manhunt.
Plus, a short-lived fire broke out near Helena today. What officials want you to know. And later, a recap from the public safety conversation with Great Falls officials.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Good evening. Thanks for trusting MTN with your 530 News. I'm Tom Wiley in for Tim McGonigal. We continue to closely monitor the situation in Anaconda, where on Friday morning, 45-year-old Michael Brown allegedly opened fire in the Owl Bar, killing 4 people. Brown then fled, sparking a manhunt on Friday into the weekend and continuing today. MTN's John Riley attended a press conference as law enforcement and local leaders gathered to provide the latest update in their search for the suspect.
On Tuesday, the manhunt for a suspect accused of killing 4 people at an Anaconda bar continued. For days, law enforcement have tirelessly scoured the densely wooded mountains outside of Anaconda in search for Michael Brown. On Tuesday at a press conference, we got a better idea about the status of that case, funding that has been allocated, and learned when the last time Brown was seen.
Without stating too much, I think the last concrete time we can say for sure he was seen was Friday. Now, there is certainly evidence in our search area that he's present and that we're hunting in the right haystack.
Knutson declined to say if they believe Brown still had the weapon allegedly used in the shooting at the Owl Bar, but they are treating the situation as if he is armed.
We absolutely have to assume that he's armed and extremely dangerous. This is clearly an unstable individual. He's had access to firearms, numerous firearms in his home, and he used a firearm to commit a really heinous series of crimes.
Tuesday morning, Governor Greg Gianforte signed an executive order approving the allocation of additional funding to search efforts and covering overtime costs by officers working the case. Officials say officers have been putting in 18 and 19-hour days in the search for Brown.
Since the tragic event, our Montana law enforcement officers have been unrelenting in their pursuit, working around the clock to bring this suspect, Michael Brown, to justice for his heinous acts.
Residents MTN spoke with have expressed frustration with a perceived lack of communication for updates about the manhunt. Morgan Smith, Anaconda Deer Lodge County Attorney, directly addressed the residents of Anaconda, saying the county has heard their frustrations and they're doing everything in their power to bring this matter to a close.
I understand the pit in your stomach every time you've heard sirens in our community the last 5 days. I experienced the same. Any call that comes in of a potential sighting of Michael Paul Brown or a suspicious person in an unexpected place or a concern that you can't reach a loved one and you have concern that they have been harmed, every single one of those calls has been responded to. And every time those calls come in, they're treated as though they are going to be the call that results in the apprehension of Michael Paul Brown.
U.S. Marshals have also increased the reward to $10,000 for information leading to the capture of Brown. In Anaconda, John Riley, MTN News.
Well, the search for Brown is now in its 5th day. A large-scale search like this requires resources, and in this case, those resources have come in from agencies across the state and beyond, including the Lewis and Clark County Sheriff's Office. MTN's Madeline Heath spoke with Sheriff Leo Dutton, who is in Anaconda right now.
As the search continues for suspected killer Michael Brown, law enforcement agencies from across the state are pitching in to help.
This is within our region. This is our neighbors. These are our friends. So that's why we're here.
The Lewis and Clark County Sheriff's Office and Helena Police Department have sent resources to Anaconda, including the Joint City-County SWAT team and the Sheriff's Office command vehicle.
Initially, when the call came out, we brought over my tactical unit to support the Anaconda Deer Lodge call for help.
While the SWAT team is back in Lewis and Clark County, they are standing ready to return to Anaconda if needed. And the command vehicle, along with 4 Sheriff's Office personnel, are still there supporting Incident Command near Stumptown Road. Sending resources to other communities is not uncommon in Montana.
We use it a lot. I would say more than 30 times that we have responded around the state for support.
But the current manhunt for Brown is unique.
The part that's unusual about this is because of the topography and maintaining where the suspect may be, is that we're working with other TAC teams.
And as long as the help is needed, Sheriff Dutton said his team will be there.
It's called mutual aid, and it's it's more than gold because they don't ask to be paid back.
In Helena, Madeline Heath, MTN News.
An event full of family fun for locals and visitors in Anaconda each year has been canceled for this coming weekend. MTN's John Amy has more on the decision and how the community is responding.
With the manhunt continuing for a suspected mass shooter and a city still grieving the loss of 4 of its citizens, the city of Anaconda made a difficult decision to cancel its beloved upcoming summer festival.
It's very heartbreaking. I know what it means to the community. It's a celebration of our heritage, but I think right now we don't need celebration. We just need to grieve.
Anaconda officials decided to cancel this year's Smelterman's Day that would have run August 8th through the 10th. The small town is reeling from the deaths of 4 people who were shot at the Owl Bar on the morning of August 1st. 4 days after the shooting, law enforcement was still looking for the suspect they've identified as Michael Brown.
Festivities were supposed to kick off on Friday, and this Friday will be a week since the shooting itself happened. So it's really not a time for celebration.
Some citizens have felt anxiety knowing a potentially armed and very dangerous person is still out there roaming the woods west of town, though local and state law enforcement have assured the public the suspect will be found.
We're concerned because it's a small town and we're worried that he's going to slip back in, and we're all going about our business.
Organizers say they will bring the festival back next year because it's a very popular event.
It's huge. I mean, people plan their family reunions around Smelterman's Day. People plan weddings. High school reunions are super popular this time of year.
Judy Powers said she's thinking about one of the victims, her neighbor, Tony Palm.
He was just a very nice man, very nice man. I can't see him, causing trouble anywhere, or he just, and a great neighbor.
In Anaconda, John Amy, MTN News.
Compared to yesterday, we have had much quieter weather today, but there were still some showers and thunderstorms in northeastern Montana during the morning. There have been a few showers and thunderstorms out across the plains this afternoon and evening, and we're still seeing a few showers and thunderstorms right now, especially along the High Line and especially within Hill County and Blaine County. That's where we are seeing the bulk of the thunderstorm activity, even some small hail falling with a few of those thunderstorms. Tomorrow, we are going to get a break from the precipitation. We'll have increasing clouds throughout the day, and it will be warmer than it was today. Then another round of scattered showers and thunderstorms is expected as we head into Thursday, with more scattered showers and thunderstorms on Friday. And more details about that precipitation in my full forecast in a little bit.
Earlier today, the Helena Fire Department and Department of Natural Resources responded to a small fire on Mount Ascension. It was estimated to be 1/4 of an acre and likely sparked by lightning. A quick response by the Helena Police and Fire Departments and the Montana Department of Natural Resources led to the fire being extinguished by noon. Trails in the area are open again. From emergency response to everyday concerns, city leaders answered questions on Tuesday afternoon at a public safety Q&A. On the panel were representatives from the Great Falls Police Department, Cascade County Sheriff's Office, Great Falls Fire Rescue, city planning officials, and a city commissioner. Together, they provided updates and fielded questions from business leaders and residents, conversing on topics from homelessness, jail capacity, hiring struggles, and public funding.
The questions we asked today were based on member questions about what's happening. So a variety of different issues going on. It was our longest knowledge drop. It's interesting things that I think people would be like, oh, wow, I didn't know that kind of stuff happened in our community. So
the Chamber of Commerce said it hopes to continue hosting forums like this in the future, giving residents more opportunities to connect with local leadership. A Great Falls native is turning a cold case into a true crime triumph. Dr. Clem Pellet spent years tracking down the man who killed his grandfather in 1951, a crime that shook Montana's High Line and left his family searching for justice. Now Pellet is sharing his story in his latest true crime book, Murder on Montana's High Line, and taking it on tour across the Treasure State.
and it's a family story, and then that makes people turn inward and look at their family at the same time, kind of so they kind of identify with it. And so that's very gratifying. I just feel very lucky to be in the position I am.
Pellet will be at the Great Falls Public Library on Thursday, August 7th, starting at 5:30 p.m. The free event includes a presentation and book signing. The story is also being adapted to a feature film expected to be released later this year.
It's really important to have a museum like the Russell Museum here in Great Falls.
History is told in many different forms, and coming up, we'll dive into what some experts say history means to them.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching the MTN 530 News.
From Western history to contemporary art, the museums in Great Falls offer a rich history. Whether you're local or just passing through, these stops showcase stories, creativity, and heritage important to the region. MTN's Quentin Shores visited to learn more about the broader history.
Yes, the line work. Now, to a tourist, Great Falls might seem like a type of town that doesn't have a lot going on, but a lot of our culture is preserved in our history and our art.
Many younger generations are turning to technology for their history, so I had to ask, is it better to learn in person or on a screen?
Well, it's really cool to be able to do both, to put stuff online and then also experience it for yourself. It's really special to be able to see stuff in person.
Collections curator Ashley McCann walked me through the fascinating history of Great Falls and explained it in a personable way that AI searches could never replicate.
Great Falls was founded by Paris Gibson, and he was a business guy, and he saw a lot of potential with the river and with the natural waterfalls that were here. So it was his work along with James J. Hill of the Railroad Company who platted the town. They advertised to businessmen, and they wanted Great Falls to be this metropolis on the Missouri River.
But she's not the only history expert in Great Falls.
Well, the C.M. Russell Museum is primarily focused on our namesake artist, Charlie Russell. We think the world of Charlie around here, and we'd love to share his art and his incredible story with audiences.
The C.M. Russell Museum shows history through the lens of art and uses visual storytelling to captivate an audience.
It's really important to have a museum like the Russell Museum here in Great Falls. It's something that we can all be really proud of, that Charlie Russell, an internationally known artist, lived right here.
History may seem like ancient past, but these museums are always finding new ways to update and innovate.
We're here inside of the Visible Vault, inside the Owen and Gail Robinson Research Center at the History Museum. The Visible Vault is a really cool space that showcases what we do behind the scenes at the History Museum. A very small percentage of what we have is ever going to be on display, and the Visible Vault highlights all the work that we do in the background to make sure that history is preserved.
So ultimately, what makes history so important and necessary in today's society?
Well, history enriches our lives. It is so cool to be able to walk down the street, look at a building and think to yourself, oh yeah, that was that Norwegian immigrant who came and set up a clothier shop, and this is that cool feature of the architecture that I learned about. So I encourage everybody to really take a look at the history of the town that they're visiting and the town that they live in. It really is enriching. And when you come to the History Museum, you can give us a call or an email ahead of time, and we would love to talk to you about whatever your interest is in history.
In Great Falls, I'm Quentin Shores, MTN News.